Hola everybody, welcome to the first episode of IDTV 2013. I'm your host, Rocio Lopez.
And I'm Lee O'Brien.
Any relation to Conan?
No.
Really? But still, you must get that a lot. Same haircut and everything?
Nope, not really.
Aw.
Yeah.
Well, anyways, today we're going to dive into accreditation and CCSF's rich history.
Then we'll take a look at all the diversity here at City as we look at women in film and international students.
After that, we'll watch the Rams as they dribble their way to the state championships. We'll munch on some Oreos and slam some poetry. But before we start, Lee, do you know anything about accreditation? Because I really don't.
Well, if you stop someone on campus and ask them what they know about CCSF's accreditation woes, they'll likely say the school is closing, the sky is falling, and we're all doomed. Truth is, most people just don't know what's going on. At IDTV, we can't have that. We're here to entertain and inform. So take a look at the real issues. This is Accreditation 101.
Winston Churchill once said that a lie travels around the world before the truth puts her boots on. Our truth at San Francisco City College is that we have a major issue regarding accreditation. Most people know this. The problem is that it is such a complex issue. Misinformation and rumors rule the day. The organization that accredits schools in the West Coast is the Accrediting Commission for Community and Junior Colleges, or the ACCJC. Loss of accreditation would result in school losing millions in federal funding and face certain closure. In the spring of 2012, the ACCJC began its normal accreditation cycle. Previously, in 2006, the ACCJC made recommendations to the school but issued no sanctions. We want to clear up the confusion. City College has some serious institutional problems that must be resolved, or risk losing accreditation. In May of 2012, Dr. Don Griffin resigns as City College Chancellor due to health reasons after 43 years of service to City College. Dr. Griffin led the college from 2008 to 2012. Previously, he acted as Vice Chancellor and Department Chair at City College. May 1st, 2012, City College Board of Trustees hires Dr. Pamela Fisher as Interim Chancellor on a 6-month contract. Dr. Fisher was the former leader at Yosemite Community College with an enrollment of 16,000 students. The ACCJC placed the most severe sanctions, show cause, on City College, threatening to revoke its accreditation. The ACCJC issues 14 recommendations for the college to follow and avoid losing accreditation and funding. Number 1, mission statement. Number 2, effective planning processes. Number 3, assessing institutional effectiveness. Number 4, student learning outcomes. Number 5, student support services. Number 6, human resources component of evaluation. Number 7, human resources. Number 8, physical resources. Number 9, technology resources. Number 10, financial planning and stability. Number 11, financial integrity reporting. Number 12, leadership, governance, and decision-making. Number 13, governance and structures. Number 14, effective board organization. Prior to 2012 sanctions, City College was held up as a shining college on a hill, an example of what all community colleges should be. These sanctions against the largest community college in the United States were shocking. One department chair compared it to having an A grade at midterm and ending up with a final grade of an F. City College Board of Trustees hires Dr. Thelma Scott Skillman for 6 months as the second interim chancellor in a year. Despite doing nothing different, the school went from having no sanctions to the most severe sanction short of pulling accreditation, and placed on show cause status, bypassing the less severe status of warning or probation. City College's staunchest supporters concede that City College is not perfect and need to make some fundamental changes to the way business is done, considering the ever-changing fiscal circumstances. With false acknowledged, these sanctions and the threat of closure seem over the top. 25% of community colleges in California are under sanctions by the ACCJC. The fact that City College has some kind of sanctions or recommendations should be no surprise to anyone. March 15th, 2013. City College reports to the ACCJC on progress on the required 14 recommendations. The school's survival hangs in a balance.
In 1935, San Francisco Junior College opened up its doors. It was the dream of Archibald Cloud, the chief deputy of San Francisco Unified School District. Cloud envisioned a college like no other junior college of its time, a college that served students seeking to transfer to four-year universities, as well as students seeking vocational training. By 1940, City College of San Francisco offered all sorts of programs. They had everything from hotel and restaurant courses to civilian flight training. How cool is that? The college offered degrees in business, photography, engineering, and so much more. Some of these programs earned the highest accolades from the University of California. The Ocean Campus was born out of the frustrations experienced by the college community. Backed by the passing of a $2 million city bond supported by 70% of the vote, Cloud employed the noted architect Timothy Pfluger to design and construct the Science Hall and gymnasiums. Joining us today to discuss CCSF's rich and interesting history are retired librarian Julia Bergman and historian Valerie Scher Mathis, professor, who have written the book City College of San Francisco. Julia and Valerie, welcome to IDTV. Thank you so much for being here with us today.
Thank you.
Now, City College has a storied and interesting history. Valerie, how did you and Julia come together to collaborate on such a wonderful book?
Well, my dear friend Austin White, who is also my department chairman, had been working on a book. He had maybe 2/3 of it done before he died. And his wife asked me to continue with it, and you can't write and use someone else's voice. So I had worked on an Arcadia book, and I know Julia had, and I said, why don't we try to use Austin's words? That's why we had him on the page, because I didn't want to be accused of plagiarism. Use Austin words and put together a book with City College. That's
Yes.
why we did it.
Yeah, I had worked also on an Arcadia book previously, and it seemed like it would be the ideal format to tell the story of the college with, of course, all of the photographs. But prior to Austin's passing in 2008, he and I had spent almost 4 years working on an oral history project for the college where we interviewed former staff, faculty, and administration who talked about their experiences with the college. So it just seemed like a very logical coming together of our backgrounds and our experience to create this book.
And we used 204 photographs. A number of them we selected were ones that Austin had chosen. So in essence, it's a little bit his book.
Of course, yes.
That's absolutely amazing. Now, the Ocean Campus has been a site for education and human development that dates back to the late 1850s. Julia, tell us what institutions resided on this very site before we became City College of San Francisco.
Yeah, well, two very interesting institutions were created by the city on this physical site. In 1850, the city had identified already that there was a significant number of delinquent youth that needed some restructuring and support and education. So the first facility constructed here was called the Industrial School, or the House of Refuge. It was physically situated where the Rosenberg Library is today. Then, some years after that, the city decided that they also needed a jail. So the jail was built out here. It was situated physically where Botmall Hall is today. So those were the first two physical entities on the site. And of course, people make jokes about the fact that City College was once a jail. Well, yeah, it was.
But all for the good of education.
Yes.
Now, the school grows under the guidance of Cloud. World War II breaks out, and the war has a great impact on City College. What changes were seen on campus at that time?
A great many changes. We picked up the West Campus. We changed a lot of our classes to justify, well, not to justify, we changed a lot of our classes to pick up particular areas that were necessary for the war. We trained merchant marines, cooks. We did a variety of other very important changes, including victory gardens. We had a whole series of victory gardens, and then later on they became part of the ornamental horticultural system.
And after the war, we actually had student housing here for married couples.
Oh, wow.
It's called Hurley Village. That was a pretty unusual feature that was added as a result of the war in returning GIs.
It was made up of interesting Quonset huts we had moved in, but also 1-bedroom, 1-bath homes.
For $30 a month.
Yes,
Wow.
absolutely. And there were 75 children
Can we
living
do
in
that
them.
today?
It would be nice. It would be nice.
Now, Cloud and Pfluger placed a heavy emphasis on art as well as incorporated art throughout City College. Why? Who were the artists and that were displayed on campus? Why the decision to display art on campus?
Well, Timothy Pfluger in 1940 was not only the architect for City College, but he was the vice chair of the arts program for the International Exposition that was held on Treasure Island. Pfluger always, in his professional life, integrated artists, sculptors, designers into his projects. So that was just part of his natural way of working, to integrate art into architecture. During the fair, Timothy Pfluger designed a program called Art in Action. He brought 75 Bay Area artists together to work like in a public arena, creating art. He needed a superstar. He brought Diego Rivera up from Mexico to be the superstar of the fair. In April of 1940, Pfluger and Rivera signed a contract that stated basically Diego Rivera would create a large fresco, a mural, as a gift to City College of San Francisco, and their dream was that it would someday go into a new City College library. Now that didn't happen, but the mural is here on campus. There are other artists who worked at the fair who are also represented here. Dudley Carter has 3 pieces on this campus. The Ram is the most well-known, I think. It's over in the lobby of Conlin Hall. Rick Olmsted carved the 2 busts that are outside of the Science Building. Leonardo da Vinci and Edison representing the sciences. There's also an Olmsted mural, and there are many other things as well. It's pretty exciting.
That's beyond exciting. Now, President Cloud retired in 1949. Louis Conlin became president of City College. The college saw great growth under Conlin. Many of the Ocean Campus buildings were constructed under Conlin's leadership between 1949 and 1970. The campus grew to be more than just the Science Hall and a couple of gyms. Now, who was Louis Conlin? What was built during his tenure here? What was his trademark that he made during his tenure here at City College?
Well, probably his most important building was what we call Cloud Hall, which is the main classroom building. And then, go ahead, Julia.
Well, under his tenure, we have the Visual Arts Building, the Creative Arts Building, Smith Hall, Statler Wing. So all of those buildings were constructed thanks to successful bond measures that were passed locally by the voters. But it's really that 20-year period of Conlin's tenure that this particular campus really came together.
That's absolutely amazing. Juliann, Valerie, thank you so much for joining us. It's amazing to have living and breathing history amongst us. And together, combined, you have about 80 years of experience here at City College. The book City College of San Francisco can be purchased at all campus bookstores and online at www.ccsf.edu/services/bookstore.
Welcome back to IDTV. If you live in the city and go to CCSF, you're getting quite a bang for your buck. But what if you're an international student? Imagine the person sitting next to you pays thousands of dollars for the same class you pay a few hundred for. Here's a bit more about what it's like to be an international student at CCSF.
What's gonna happen to me if CCSF closes?
That's a good question, Busra. Let's go find out.
college has to come up with a plan on how to help students in the worst case scenario.
Hi, I'm Omar, and we're here with
Jeffrey Fang.
Hey, Jeffrey Fang. You actually work for the International Student Office, correct?
Yep, I do.
So how do you feel about the program?
Well, I think it's actually one of the best programs in the nation.
Do you know anything about the accreditation crisis?
Yes, I do. I know accreditation crisis pretty much inside out.
So what are the problems that the international students are facing because of the accreditation crisis?
Because of the accreditation crisis, the biggest obstacle I'm hearing from students is they're worrying about whether their school is going to close and the money and time they spend is going to be poof, gone, which is not true. And I spend more time correcting that error in assumption.
We has been one of the lowest tuition fee college for international students in the state of California.
So how do you go about paying this tuition?
I'm paying by myself.
Oh wow, that's pretty steep for $200 and something a unit.
International student has always paid more than local student, and the reason is for every local student who attend City College, their college will get reimbursed from the state government. For international students, the college does not get reimbursement from the state.
City College of San Francisco cannot be separated from the great presence of its international students. There are currently over 1,200 students from 90 different countries studying in CCSF's various campuses.
Everyone wants to come to San Francisco, not only because of the weather, but the diversity that we have in the city and the accessible transportation system. It's very attractive for international students to come here and study.
After hearing about the nitty-gritty stuff about international student services, we're actually going to take the time out to listen to the opinions directly from international students. Let's go. And I'm here with...
My name is Human. I'm from Iran. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. What made you choose City College?
City College for me is a good place to find my major.
Safe to say that you enjoy being at City College.
Yeah.
My name is Yurie, and this is my second semester here in City College of San Francisco.
So where are you from, Yurie?
I'm from Vietnam. Education in my country is a little bit lower than US.
Hey, what is your name?
I'm Zhen Yu Huang.
Where are you from?
Yeah, I'm from China, Canton.
Like, what are you here for?
I'm taking ESL class and credit class in this Ocean campus.
And I'm here with...
Hi, I'm Yurie Goto, come from Japan.
Hey Yurie, how you doing?
I'm good.
I understand that you're an international student, so I wanted to know, like, what was the difficulties coming from Japan to San Francisco?
Yeah, basically through language. Japanese people don't speak English in Japan. It's hard to speak English here. Still now.
Most definitely. Do you like San Francisco City College?
I love San Francisco. I love City College.
Mahdy.
Hi Mahdy, how are you doing today?
I'm good, thank you.
Where are you from?
I'm from Indonesia.
Indonesia, that's pretty interesting. I wanted to know, how did you get over here and what was your process?
Luckily, I got a scholarship from Fulbright. It's a scholarship paid by U.S. government of state.
Did you choose San Francisco or did they choose it for you?
They choose it for all the grantees.
So how do you feel about coming to CCSF?
It's great. It's my first experience here, studying in America,
and all the things that it brings. So there you have it. We just got all the opinions and insights of the international students at CCSF City College about their general education, about the accreditation crisis, and the tuition fees that is arising. This is Omar Mahasin from IDTV. Until next time, bye-bye.
And now, we'll take a look at the wide gender divide in filmmaking and how few women there are. and how these women aren't able to get their points of view to mainstream audiences.
My favorite directors are Steven Spielberg,
Quentin Tarantino,
Kevin Smith,
Spike Jonze,
Claude Chabrol,
Peter Jackson, Akira Kurosawa.
Werner Herzog is probably my favorite director of all time.
Can you name any female directors?
Catherine Bigelow, Lauren Greenfield. That's it.
Unfortunately, I don't know any.
and Xu, yeah.
Sofia Coppola. That's about it.
I've never really sought out female directors. I think Sofia Coppola is one of the ones that stand out to my brain, but I didn't really like her movies very much. I figured she was just doing it because she's a Coppola.
Sadly, the only one that really came to mind was Sofia Coppola. I don't think she's a great representative of what you're looking for.
I'm trying to think. I want to name another female director. I think.
No, I forget.
And although she's controversial, some of the films of Leni Riefenstahl are absolutely incredible.
I love a French director named Agnes Varda, and Sofia Coppola, and an Indian director named Mira Nair.
The filmmaking standards have all started with the studio system, which is entirely run by men. So that's the standard we were given and that we're trying to change.
Alice Guy is the only woman thus far who has owned a studio. Asner, Lupino, they were directors who were able to work inside Hollywood. Lupino started off as a writer. Women have been editors. I mean, if you look at Zika Vertov, if you look at Man with the Movie Camera, that was, 1929. Elizaveta was editing.
In the early days of film, a lot of the editors were women, but when sound came into play, they took women out of the equation because they didn't think women could handle electronics.
No, Betty, that's wrong. Let me show you again. You use this control to get your focus, you see? All right, and this one here in the right-hand corner to lock the sweep.
It's a boys' club. It's the producers, the directors, the writers, the actors, mostly men, especially the crew members. Even if you go to even the lower levels like craft services or accounting or finance, it's all big firms that are run and maintained by men.
When I'm being assertive on set, it's definitely viewed a little bit differently in most situations. I've noticed everyone will listen more easily to a man as opposed to myself. I have to raise my voice a little bit more. I have to go and call for people's attention a little bit more. The respect isn't the same, and I don't understand why that is if I'm just as qualified as the man standing next to me.
And it takes a lot of confidence to be able to step up and be like, no, I can do this better. Like, this isn't something only men can do. Like, I am capable of being an extremely effective producer.
I think that women in general, as young girls, need to be encouraged to do things other than wear pink and look pretty.
I'm a girl, and by me that's only great. I am proud that my silhouette is curvy, that I walk with a sweet and girlish gait, with my hips kind of swivelly and swervy. I adore being dressed in something frilly. When my date comes to get me at my place, out I go with my Joe or John or Billy, like a filly who is ready for the race.
I don't think the female perspective is adequately represented in American cinema, no.
I think if you're looking at an industry that's mostly run by men, they make the movies that they would want to watch. So the more female directors and the more female producers that start to rise up in the ranks, the more we're going to start to see movies that are really geared towards females and towards the female audience, or towards at least a more general audience.
I don't think women are represented in media, or either in front of the camera or behind the camera, in a way that really represents who we are.
I definitely want to show my perspective as a minority and as a low-income person living in the city, what it's like, you know, to be me through film.
I think the gender roles sort of put their face in my face right away.
Oftentimes, women are perceived as more emotional, so they're, you know, maybe the crew is just waiting for them to crack and cry on set, and then that'll just affirm the fact women are emotional. You know, she can't keep it together. This is such a high-stress environment. She has no place in here.
Well, when I was interning for this TV station, one of the editors, I went on a live shot with one of the camera ops, and he was like, oh, I'll carry the tripod. And it was a 15-pound tripod, and he was also going to carry his camera and, you know, all the equipment. And I was like, no, of course I'll carry the tripod. And he was like, no, it's really heavy. And I got really angry about what he said, so I made it a point to carry it throughout the whole entire day. So it was really heavy, but, you know, I had to prove my point that I could hold my own.
I think probably one of my biggest challenges working in the film industry was when I was a lot younger, and I did know quite a bit, and convincing people that I did know what I was doing when I was in my 20s and 30s was hard, because they don't look at you as somebody that could possibly know what they were doing.
I don't see the gender divide changing anytime soon, at least not in my lifetime.
People aren't so much satisfied anymore with how things used to be, and things are changing, and it's still in transition, I feel, but I definitely think that a whole new era of filmmaking is about to just explode, and women are definitely going to be a part of that.
Women trying to bridge that gap, it's a road uphill. It's like Sisyphus pushing that rock up that hill.